Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today, it's Sunday Comics. That means it's time to take out a comic, sit down, have some coffee, and just check out a comic. This week, we're going to go back to the X-Men. Let's take a sip of coffee. Ooh, that's good. That's good coffee. That's good coffee, as my friend's dad used to say. That's good coffee. So we're going to check out X-Men 108. This is still before John Byrne. Or is it? I don't even remember. But this is Dave Cockrum doing the cover. And I'll filibuster a bit until people come in. We got Zach Tan with my blessing. Thank you for my Sunday blessing. That always helps. It always helps. To the point now, I get stressed until I see the blessing come in. Let's talk about what should we talk about? My monthly comics. I just got a notice it's gonna be delivered today. It's funny that it's gonna be delivered on a Sunday, but you know, I still get new comics, and I still make videos about that. Although I don't do the I just do comics whenever my stack of comics gets too high, and I want to talk about them. Put them in the back. Jeez, I can't even talk. Good news. I sometimes comics get mixed up and sorted in the wrong spot. I found these two last night while sorting comics. I was freaking out that I couldn't find this Sergeant Fury and Howling Commandos #1. Finally found it at Justice League number 16. So I'm happy to report that I found those. But now I can't find my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. Where did I file that? I gotta keep looking until I find that. Other good channel news for those of you who may or may not know. I got these in. So Heroic Tales, here are the proofs. Are in. So you can see they come with these stickers to show you that it's a proof. And then when you okay it, you type in this number into their website and hit approve, and they start printing. So here is the Josh Howard cover. I flip it over. It's the Jose Garcia cover. So just check it out. It just looks so good. So it worked. You know what I mean? We got the Mary Sue story on one side, and then you flip it over. We got the Patriarch story on the other. There's three errors that it's just too late to fix. But I'm wondering if anybody else besides me will notice. I did not see any typos, so that's pretty good. There was three typos that I noticed last issue. No typos this issue that I've noticed, but oh, somebody's messaging me. Somebody always messages me, and I always check. I'm so addicted to my phone. I gotta break that habit. So, the errors that I'd noticed were just like syntax errors, just like a little awkward. Right, I should have picked it up between my editor and me. I should have picked it up, but but other than that, it's good. It's good. So I'm hoping to get the notification that they're shipping this week. That would be awesome, and then I can start fulfillment. My crazy hair. Jeez, should have brushed my hair. Got a haircut yesterday. Looked good yesterday. You guys attached to your barber? Did you guys I have to go to my barber. My barber is also a construction worker. He only works on the weekends. So I make an appointment to go see him. But I did make an appointment yesterday. Just my wife woke up, went to church, and I was like, let me go get my haircut. So I brought my headphones and my phone because I figured I'd be sitting there for hours, But I walked in, he was just sitting there. There's like 12 barbers in this place, Dominican place. They play Dominican music. And if you go there around closing time, they all do shots of Citron and stuff. And a couple of times I went there on Fridays after work at closing time, and they got me a little tipsy. But listening to that I always say that song because it always sounds like one song to me. And they're all talking Spanish. I don't understand them, but you understand the vibe, and I enjoy it. It's fun. I can see why, because I'm not one of these guys that hangs out at the barbershop, but I can see why. It was just fun. But I went like first thing Saturday morning. There you go. So first things first, Heroic Tales 2. I mean, I printed them. I overprinted, so you could still get issue 1. You can still get issue 2. I sold a few at work yesterday, and then they paid me in cash, and then I take that cash, put it in my wallet, but then I transfer money into the Stripe account. You know what I mean? So it goes into, because what it's doing is funding next issue. So, whatever I sell now, if I just take that money and then buy meatball parms with it, which is probably what I'm going to do, that doesn't help my comic. So, whatever sales, I sold 4 comics yesterday, so that's $40, and then I put $40 into the Stripe account for funding of next issue. So Ben Sabar, good morning. How you doing, Ben? How's everything? Good to see you. We got Marcus here. How you doing, Marcus? How's everything? The Justice League America. Yep. I did not see any typos. Yep. Barbara holds a position of trust, at least in this. Yeah. I trust both guys about Barbershop. Plus, they're both at the comics. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. It's funny because when I lived in Queens, I lived there for 15 years in this apartment, and like 2 years, I think I lived there before my wife moved in, and then the rest of the time, my wife lived with a small apartment in Queens. And I never considered it my home. It was always just a temporary residence. And one day, I'm walking to the supermarket, and the barber goes, "Hey, John, I got a book for you." An old Italian barber. So I got my groceries, and then I walked over. He handed me Wise Guys, the book that Goodfellas was based on. He goes, "I know you like to read, so read this book." And then I'm like, I guess I live here. I got a barber that knows me by name, knows I like to read, gives me books to read. So that was when I realized, okay, I've been living here long enough. This is my home. Because now I live in this house. This is what, my 4th year, 5th year, and I consider this my home. But that just shows you how I felt about that apartment. All right, I think we got enough people, so let's check out all new, all different X-Men. Okay, I have a question. Somebody put on Twitter, and Brian Bow and I were talking about it. Brian Bow, who does the wonderful comic Wolf and Batsy, which, by the way, he fulfills. So I got the open caskets. I didn't even look at it yet. These are all the comics I ordered from him. Open caskets. So this is an art book. This is all of it, like commissions and full color art book. So I got to check that out. I got that a couple of days ago. I just didn't even open it yet. But anyway, we were talking. Somebody posted on Twitter a picture of giant-sized X-Men #1, and it says the X-Men were always woke. This was they wanted, the comic wasn't selling. Who says diversity doesn't sell comics? Look at this diversity. And I got to say that he was kind of right. It was a ploy to diversity, even though we didn't use that word back then. But here's why it wasn't woke. And it wasn't just diversity for the diversity's sake. What Len Wein, and it's funny because he said Chris Claremont. I guess he didn't know Len Wein. But Len Wein and Marvel in general, they wanted to make interesting characters. They didn't. I don't think they sat down and said, let's just make a diverse group. No, they were like, there's mutants all over the world. So let's get mutants from all over the world. Let's get interesting characters. And they made interesting characters with cool powers and cool personalities. And Dave Cockrum did awesome costumes for these guys. And it wasn't about, like, Colossus wasn't just like, I'm Russian. He was a cool character. Does anybody care that Nightcrawler was German? Banshee is a little on the nose with Irish, but like the only one that like really was in your face about their ethnicity was Thunderbird, and he died. He was, the Indian guy who didn't like the white man, and he was like, okay, well, but even Storm, the African goddess, wasn't just dwelling on the fact that I'm African. They were interesting characters first and foremost, different ethnicities. Like they might as well have been American for all intents and purposes, with like my character, the patriarch, James Kelly. He is of Irish descent. So far, it doesn't matter. It does it's it's all part of his background and everything like that. But like he doesn't play up like, oh, those. He's an Irish Protestant. His wife is a Greek Orthodox, so he wasn't particularly religious. He was always religious, but he wasn't like going to church every Sunday kind of guy. He was kind of like a lapsed Protestant who, and now that he's married and has kids, he kind of just leaned into his wife's faith since it was very important to her. But you don't know that. It's all part of what I have in the background. Maybe it'll come out in storytelling. I feel it's like, come up with the world, come up with all the traits, and be consistent, and let it arise organically. So Colossus being Russian, he might as well have been a Texas or Kansas farm boy, up until here at least. So I don't know. It's like, am I making a point? Like, yeah, they were diverse, but it wasn't woke and it wasn't DEI. It was interesting characters. So there you go. So let's see. We got Zactan, where the X-Men all different, all new from previous versions of themselves. The X-Men different from other people. They were new characters. Giants were the X-Men all different from previous versions of themselves. The X-Men different. Oh, you goofing on this. Okay. It took me a minute. Wolverine released Canadian in comics. Yep. Didn't matter though. I mean, should Wolverine have been like back bacon, beer, toques? Good morning. Just got on. James, how you doing, Jimmy? Hell, everybody's saying hello. And okay, from this point forward, we're officially starting. So we know the deal. I'll look at the comic, look at the comments. Look at this cover. It's exciting. We got a big old fist over here. We got Storm. Focal point, Storm's butt. Secondary focal point is Banshee's crotch. We got Cyclops over here blasting. Colossus jumping out of the way. Nightcrawler jumping out of the way. Armageddon now. Goofing on Apocalypse now. And we got Stan Lee, who wishes he looked that good. Pizzazz. Oh, okay. We got Chris Claremont is the author. I need more light. I don't care if my face glows because nobody's looking at my face. There we go. So here we go. We got Chris Claremont, author. So Chris Claremont took over the writing chores real soon. John Byrne, artist. So this is the first John Byrne art. I thought it was 109. What do I know? Again, I just opened up. I've read these comics, obviously, but I haven't read them to prepare for this. So I'm going on memory and the storytelling of the comic. Terry Austin, inker. Wall and Orr's letterers, Yancho's colorist, and Archie Goodwin editor. So here we go. This is officially the John Byrne years. So remember last they were captured by the Shi'ar, and I don't know. I love the whole politics in the outer space politics in Marvel Comics. You got the Shi'ar Empire, and space is big enough you can have empires. You got the Skrull Empire, you got the Kree Empire, and I'm sure there's more that the Badoon. I love all these space forces. each with their different personalities and technologies. So, Lord in heaven, what's happening in the sky? You know, I can't read this. There's not enough light. So I guess my face is gonna get washed out, but who cares? All right. So here we go. That's the Deccan crystal. Just look. I forget just how I forgot just how similar Dave Cockrum was to John Byrne, and how the John Byrne art was and Dave Cockrum were similar to Neil Adams. You know, again, when I was a kid, my first X-Men comic I think was 112. So I already jumped in at the John Byrne, Terry Austin art issues, and that became the best thing in the world to me. And I didn't know who Neil Adams was till a couple of years later. So I didn't, as a kid, everybody's a newbie at some point. You know, everybody's got to start. There's no shame in being a newbie. With the shame is being new to something and then thinking all the authority. Like in that same thread about the diversity of the X-Men, one of the guys goes, "Look, Wolverine has a cigar." It's like you're arguing that the intent and you didn't even know that Wolverine smoked. It was a big deal when they made Wolverine stop smoking. That was Jim Quesada said no cigarettes in his comics because he quit smoking. So what year is this? 1977. So we got Mark. You could still get Herog tells you could still get it. You could still jump in. Matter of fact, last night somebody got a big sale last night. Somebody jumped in at the last minute. I mean, I can't change the order, but they got a couple of comics. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Jimmy says I look beautiful. Thank you, Jimmy. You look beautiful too. We're all beautiful on this beautiful Sunday morning. Good morning, OmniPro B. How's everybody? How's everything? Let's go to the next page. Oh, so this is Dr. Peter Corbeau of Starcore 1. And I just read, is it here? Or did I put it away? But I love continuity in the comics. So I've been reading, is it over here? But I just read his first appearance in Hulk. No, I did it. No, I don't have it. Okay, so it's not right here. But his first appearance was in the Hulk, and it was that real terrible comic where Jarella from the micro world becomes big, and somehow her ability to get big causes the sun to go supernova, and Peter Corbeau shows up to explain, to mansplain everything, and then hijinks happens. But I was like, but it was funny because it said plot by Chris Claremont, so he's a Chris Claremont character. So it's just kind of fun. I love that stuff. I love like little secondary characters that makes the world seem like Peter Corbeau of Starcore. And why can't I think of the name of the scientist that runs the C Lab where Stingray's always hanging out? I just love all those little side characters that show up. Like Alan Quatermain was one of my favorites until he got killed, and nobody remembers him. And he's one of the few Marvel characters that actually stayed dead. So, oh, Marcus says Joe Q's dad died of cancer. Then he banned smoking. Okay. So look at this. We got last issue. Just so much was introduced. The Imperial Guard, the Starjammers. Just like 21 characters I remember counting last issue. So we got Chad over here, Corsair, Hepzibah, is that how you say name? The skunk girl. We got Leandra, Wolverine, and Wolverine's wearing the Fang outfit from he defeated one of the Imperial Guards and took his outfit. I always wondered, was that like an attempt to give him a different costume? All this, I'm just marveled. It's been so long since I looked at this. So good. Chad, call Waldo in the gym. I want a full range crystal scan. I want a full range sensor scan of that crystal. We've got to know what that effect means. Understood, friend Corsair. Gene, are you? We're all fine, bub. How's about we get out of here while the getting's good? This place give me the creeps. And where would you hide, Wolverine? From a force that's called the end of all that is. So, to get you up to speed, Leandria's brother wants to destroy everything. He worships some like cosmic horror being, and he wants to destroy everything. If you remember, two of the unnamed Imperial guards were sacrificed to this cosmic horror. Fight what? A universe gone mad around Cyclops. We've been in the dark too long. That Princess Sandra told you about what's going on. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4 panels that's going to bring us up to speed. So so Cyclops is telling everybody what's going on. So they went through the Stargate. Professor Xavier sent them to rescue Leandra, but there turned out to be more to it than that. Leandra's brother, Emperor Dekend, had come here seeking power, absolute power he plans to use unless he was stopped. The X-Men did their best against the Imperial Guard, but all seemed lost with the arrival of the Starjammers. That swung the final tide of the battle in their favor, and then the roof fell in as light from the 9 mystic Death Stars struck the great Macran crystal, and all existence went. So again, here we are at issue 108, and it's cosmic horrors, alien empires, space pirates. We don't really have that I'm a mutant and everybody hates me stuff. That's a whole nother era. That's like a whole era away. And to me, that was the downfall of the X-Men. So which brings us to StarCorps, a United Nations Sunwatch station, the most advanced space lab ever built. And right now, the home of some very frightened people. So we got them, among them StarCorps' Nobel Prize winning creator, Peter Corbeau. And Peter Corbeau always has these Spock eyebrows, or at least he did in the Hulk. Dave Cockrum kind of toned it down, but now it's back. So here we got Jimmy Carter's the Beast, Captain America, Reed Richards. He's talking to all the important people. And I didn't realize that this Beast was the same Beast that was in the X-Men, the human-looking Beast. I didn't know that stuff. I was a newbie around this time. So now what's going on? No time for flippity, Corbeau. I'm beyond flippity, Richards. I think I'm even beyond awe. Good God, don't you understand? I registered a total disruption of the nuclear gravimetric lines of force that bind all of matter together, and this disruption should accordingly. They could very well be witnessing the end of our universe and all that we know. And then we got Black Panther over here, Captain America, the Beast. Oh, my stars and garters. Thank you, Doctor. We'll be in touch. Is that it? T'Challa, Corbeau tells us the universe is going to end, and all you can say is we'll keep in touch. We're the Avengers. Blast it. We've got to do something. No, not this time. It's too big and too far away. Like it or not, this one's out of our hands. Oh, Hank, hold me. I'm scared. I know, baby. So am I. So there you go. We got a little page of everybody reacting to the scales, the threat of what's going on. A little bit of let's build up the tension. And more importantly, we got a chance for John Byrne to draw all these characters. You got Reed, the Human Torch, Ben, Captain America, the Beast. That yellow jacket costume is one of the best costumes of all time. Just so good. Just so good. Oh, I remember that SHIELD agent Quartermain. Yeah. Clay Quartermain. He was Alan Quartermain. No, Clay Quartermain. Did I say Alan Quartermain? Clay Quartermain. He was always like standing next to Nick Fury, blonde, good-looking guy. Didn't he find King Solomon's mines? Yeah. Yep. That was Alan Quartermain, who became one of Alan Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. The Fang costume was an attempt to give Wolverine a new costume, but Byrne hated it. Oh, okay. They didn't like that yellow one with no mask. I guess he doesn't need a mask when he has hair like that. Sure, the UN built it, but it was the US sharing credit. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure we paid 95% of the budget, and then the UN gets the credit. Not the new. Yeah, the nuclear gravimetric lines of force have been disrupted. I'm glad somebody understands the threat and depth of the bad guy in this. Hulk smashed the end of the universe. Yep. I just love how the everybody just gives up. You know, the Avengers are like, okay, the end of the universe. You know, I'm sure Reed is working on a machine right now, but the Avengers just like, nothing we can do about it. Jen and Hank are gonna go get some comfort sex, but Alan Quartermain cannot die in Africa. Yeah, is that true? I don't know anything about that character. All I know is it killed Sean Connery's career. Right, and we'll go to the next page. We got some ads. We got some super prizes. And then we got okay. All right, so now we got I'm just laughing at this drawing right here. Just made me giggle. So what there's someone up on the crystal, and here we got Jean Grey over here. She's using her mind power, and she says, Corsair and Cyclops, they're so alike, it hurts. Lord, I wish I'd never mind scanned the Skyjammers. How could I tell Scott who Corsair really is? So right away, Chris Claremont is telling us that Corsair is Cyclops' father. Instantly, as soon as he shows up, it was planned. It's not one of these things that just evolved later on. It was made from its inception. I am Janth, aliens. I am the guardian of this gate into eternity. My charge is simple, one and final. As long as the gate is open, no one may approach the crystal and live. You're going to stomp us, Pipsqueak? You don't know what we're up against. You be careful, bub. That's your bag, ain't it? Besides, I ain't going to hurt this fellow much. That's for sure. And then we got this cool ship over here over the horizon. I'm just digging the art. It's just such, I don't know about you guys, but do you have comfort food? Do you ever get sick and you're just like, oh man, I know it's not going to make me better, but it's like Lipton, those Lipton powdered noodles, you boil up some water and you open up the packet, that, or Campbell's can of soup, chicken noodle soup, some bread, and a big glass of ice cold milk. Oh man, that's like, my favorite lunch of all time growing up as a kid was a tuna fish sandwich and a bowl of chicken noodle soup and a glass of milk. I mean, that's what you want. So I like every once in a while, I'll crave meatballs and sauce the way my mother made, and my wife would rather have meat sauce than meatballs. It's just easier, to do less hassle, and I don't disagree. But every once in a while, I get nostalgic, and you want comfort food. So, I want meatballs and the sauce the way my mother made it. I'm sure every one of you understands exactly what I'm talking about. This art is comfort food. It's just so much fun to see this John Byrne, Terry Austin doing the X-Men characters. This is just so relaxing, so comforting. I'm really enjoying the hell out of this. I haven't looked at this in years. You can see how old this is beat up. So I didn't get this off the shelf. I mean, I did get it off the shelf, but I didn't get it the month it came out. I told you there was a comic book. Well, there was a stationery store called Howie's, and when you went into Howie's, you go in the front door. You went to the right. There was just like this alcove, and it was just piles of comics. He never sent anything back. So that was just like after school, I would go in there and just sift through comics, and he would have comics that were like a year to past their expiration date, and this was one of them that I found there. So I got 108 after I got 112. Could be a year after I got 112. So I read all of these X-Men comics kind of out of order. So it was real nice to finally, maybe about 10 years ago, I got all the ones that I was missing and then sit down and read the whole Chris Claremont run. I think I read up to 150, just finally to read it in order, because I read it a million times out of order. So now this little guy, of course, I like that trope. The little guy, they don't take him seriously, but he's just beating the crap out of them all. Again, when I said it didn't really matter that Nightcrawler was German, they just throw like a German word, just to remind you that he's German. It's not just it's not like Nightcrawler is just like, yeah, my family were Nazis, and Charlemagne. He's just a freaky looking guy who happens to be German, just to add a little bit of a spice into his background. My opera blaster hitting him with full force, and all he does is laugh. So he's just taking out Colossus, Chad. I always like the Starjammers. Here comes Storm, and I didn't notice this, but like another focus on her butt. Jean Grey down on her knees, struggling. Perhaps Phoenix can make you change your mind, Guardian. The Incredible, still weak from transporting through the Stargate. So what does she do? She's showing how powerful she is. So she's reaching up and she pulls this asteroid or meteor or whatever, and just pulls it down. Boom. Here she is, right over here. I love that. Just pulling celestial objects from space onto this guy. Bam. What do we got here? Zach, really? I don't even think he did a bad job as Alan Quartermain, at least not career-ending bad. No. The movie, I was disappointed in the movie because I was such a big fan of the comic. My biggest criticism of the comic was I just didn't like the art. But I love the concept. I love the story. The art was just, I don't know. It just didn't fit. It didn't fit that type of story. But the movie, I didn't like it because I didn't like the portrayal of Captain Nemo, one of my favorite characters of all time. And then they got rid of Fu Manchu and made who was the bad guy? Moriarty? I forget who the bad guy was. But now that I've gotten past it, some years past, it's not as bad. I was just initially disappointed. Hey, Stipling's here. I love that little guy. Would have liked to see more of him. Hey, Stippling Vaughn. Check out his channel. I like he showcases his art while sitting in a bar. I just picture like Tolkien sitting next to him. I have no idea where this bar is, but he does videos and he talks about his comic collection while doing art. And lately he's been showing the Printer's Devil, a story that he's working on for Heroic Tales for me. So you get some spoilers. You get to see him drawing the cards of the Printer's Devil and Boaz, and then you get to see the first page. It looks so good. Can't wait. John Byrne is a visual pal. Yes, it absolutely is. Absolutely is. Crenshaw, once in a while I'll crave Stouffer's chip beef over toast. There you go. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Comfort food. Comfort. You buy now. Hey John, what's the best comic shop on Long Island for back issues? Oh man, Tors. I forget what town it is. TOR''S. Tors Comics. It is the absolute best back issue comic book store I've ever seen. Hands down. Anywhere in the world. And I'm so lucky that it's within 10 miles. I discovered it by accident. It's by the Ronkonkoma train station. So I don't know if it's in Ronkonkoma, but look up Tors Comics and collect. Well, it's just comics. It is dangerous how good it is. It is dangerous. So there you go. Go check that place out. you want it, they got it. They got everything from Action Comics 15 to whatever. You go in there, Tors, TOR''S. Yeah, it is the absolute best. Oh, Zenshaw. Zaktan is off to church. I mean, it's so good. I won't go there, and unless I got some extra money. It is dangerous, without a doubt, the best. If you want it, they have it, and they know comics, and they know what they're selling. So you're gonna pay for it too. But you want to go to, yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing. All right, let's check the page. It's overwhelming, and it's so tiny. Oh man, it's cramped. It's like, excuse me, and it's a rundown, beat up little place. You can be like, where is John telling me this is? It's like on the other side of the tracks. Literally, you're like, oh God, I don't like where I am. Oh, this comic book store is awesome. So, anybody ever eat a Zagnut? I'm just cover collecting, not hunting any key issues. Okay. Let me know if you go. Let me know if you go, or when you go. So, well, I just got something in my eye. All right. So then, most impressive, Phoenix. It's pity that all that effort went to nothing. So he just comes marching out, starts tossing Chad around. Use your wind powers, woman. We need a cyclone. It's pretty. Use your wind powers, woman. We need a cyclone. All done. As good as done, Cyclops, but how will that help us? It'll cover us while we pull back and regroup. We're just wasting our time tackling that imp head on. We need a plan. Where you going? Sorry, Psych, but I already got a plan. Something that Imp said about programming, as if he's some kind of robot. I'm betting my sonic scream will scramble his circuits. I'm betting my life. There he is. I'm using me scream as an airborne sonar and right to him. Glory, he turned so fast. Can't let him grab me throat. Lord, the pain feels like he's grinding me. Ribs to powder. Gotta keep fighting. Only need one breath. Boom. So Banshee just grabs the little guy. The little guy starts crushing him, and then he just screams in his face. Banshee, are you well, my friend? When we heard that scream, I'm breathing and I'm walking, so I'll settle for that. Throats never felt so raw. I could barely talk. You took one hell of a risk, pal. Scott, we always knew Banshee was a gambler, man. I figured where Gene's blunderbuss approach failed, a finer touch might do the trick. So I hit him with my strongest, tightest beamed screamed ever. So there you go. Also, I didn't pick up on this until just now. The setting up on that Banshee can tax his vocal cords, because as we know, him doing that to Moses Magnum in issue 19 caused him to lose his powers for a while. So I like that they're setting up a consistency in this. So now we got a big robot coming out, a magnificent stratagem intruder. It will be preserved in our memory banks for all time, but in defeating the first Guardian, you've only succeeded in prolonging, for I am Mode, the second Guardian. Like this big robot comes out. My power is 1,000 times greater than Jamf's. And should I fall, you'll face a Guardian whose power is 1,000 times mine. So it'll go until you are destroyed. So boom. Every time they destroy a robot, another one comes out 1,000 times more powerful. It kind of looks like Box, doesn't it, from Alpha Flight? I like this. We got what's his name? Raza. We got Raza over here. The cyborg Kree. The cyborg Shi'ar. Excuse me. Cyclops. Jean Grey. Leandra is down here. Nightcrawler. Corsair. Just all these cool costumes. Cool designs. I love it. I love it. Oh, we got a comment. I find a touch proceeds to go on full screen right into someone's face. I know. And I love. Are you okay? We heard you scream. He's like, yeah, everybody heard me scream. That's I'm Banshee. That's what I do. I scream. Of course you heard me scream. If you didn't hear me scream, I'd be useless. And then we got belt buckles. Anybody get these? These mighty belts, they sport a beautiful bronze-like finish. Bronze-like means not bronze, right? What is it, like pewter? The Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four game, I remember having it. I remember it was just being like a roll and move, game, which is just like the worst thing you could say to modern board gamers. It's a roll and move game. Coffee, so good. Very well, Cyclops. My deeds will speak for me. Raza, look out! Boom, just bashing them apart. You know, one day you'll see a double triumph: the death of the Starjammers and the acquisition of. So here we got Dakar just reveling in his madness. Is your emperor mad? Does he not realize the Guardian will slay him too? He's not my emperor. And yes, he is mad. Hold, the Starjammer calls us. Raza, this is Waldo. When that second Guardian appeared, there was another cosmic blink. Whatever the Emperor's unleashed, it's disrupting the basic fabric of the universe. Thou wouldst not be content with the ravaging of worlds. Thou needs to destroy all that exists to satisfy thy insane lust for power. Unhand me, you lout. I am the Emperor. Thou art a murderer. I always found it interesting that Raza speaks like a Quaker, in the old thee and thou. And it's funny because I didn't know this for the longest time, but thee and thou were they were like personal pronouns, like when you're familiar with somebody, and that's why the Quakers always spoke like that, because they were the society of friends. They were friends with everybody, so they always spoke in a personal, familiar, whereas our proper speech is, proper. Thee and thou kind of, when did it disappear? I don't even know. But why would Raza have this speak? Who's calling me? Jeez. Somebody calls me now. Thou art a murderer. So the Emperor screams as his body hits the face of the crystal, but he does not die. Instead, there's a blinding flare of light, a ghost image of the spinning to a halt, and suddenly all the present, and they're somewhere else. Now I can read this. Jeez, holy mackerel! I can't read that. I've never seen such a place, such emptiness. I feel closed in, caged, trapped. Remember, she has a claustrophobia. I do not like this place. I'll drink to that storm, but what is this place? I do not like this place. Place, using a lot of the same words. A moment we're getting clobbered by that giant-sized Robbie the robot, and the next was Zapier. Hush, God, don't you see we're inside the crystal? The Guardian, who's charged with keeping us out, he has no place here, no power over those who pass him. What, we're inside the crystal? Reality, as we know it, has no meaning here. And within the sphere is the heart of it all. I could feel life, Scott, and pain. Something is calling to me. Scott, I sense such beauty. Jean Grey, master of telepathy and telekinesis. We don't know it. Oh, when I was talking about how from the inception, Corsair was meant to be Scott Summers' father. He just debuted last issue, and this is the second time that Jean Grey hinted that there's a connection between Corsair and Cyclops. That's, from design, from the beginning, that was Chris Claremont's plan. Now, when I'm talking about like other changes that are come along later and then retroactive continuity, is the Phoenix Force, which I despise. I hate the Phoenix Force. I think it ruins the humanity of the character of Jean Grey. It lessens the drama. It absolves her of all her attention and character arc. But like right now, this is Jean Grey, but now when I read it, it's tainted because this is a non-human, all-powerful entity. It just ruins it sometimes. And again, her name was Phoenix. Phoenix has come back from the dead. That's what they do. I don't like when people come back from the dead, but If your name is Phoenix, that's what you do. You know, if your name is Stretchy Guy, you got stretching powers. Your name is Phoenix, you have fire and come back from the dead. They didn't need this force. Just drives me nuts. For all we know, it's a preliminary design for Box. Yeah. Morning, Marcus. The superhero merchandise company in the past becomes Heroes World. Thee and thou faded with the advent of you guys and the more modern bro. There you go. At least we have some etymological insight over here by Crenshaw, who once was cool. Gee, what are you talking about? Phoenix, your hand. She would say something, but the scream is too large, and she never gets the chance as beams of blood-hued light lash out from each of the shimmering sphere, one to each living being around, flinging past their mental defenses as if they don't exist, turning them and their souls inside out before dropping them into a nightmare. The Emperor is faced with the Soul Drinker, his pet demonic executioner, knowing that for this time it's coming for him. For Nightcrawler, it's a knob. It's a knob. It's a mob scene in a remote Bavarian village as he's being hunted, killed, and exiled by his friends, the people he cares most. For Corsair, it's a memory. Two men facing each other over the body of a murdered woman. Come on, oh my God, Kate, Corsair's wife. See, they're consistent in the details, but they're telling us different details, but they are giving us the information that he's Cyclops' father. I really like that, how he's just dropping pellets. And so on it goes, finding himself snared in his own personal private hell. For Jean Grey, that hell is death, but there's something different about her nightmare. There's terror, and yet there is also a sudden powerful sense of deja vu. For months ago, when she was piloting a crippled space shuttle through the worst solar storm in living memory, she died, her body consumed by solar radiation, and she was reborn. That nightmare, it's affecting me anymore. I think I understand. When I died, my fear of death died with me. So there you go. I don't know. This kind of contradicts the Phoenix Force. You know, the Phoenix Force would it have been affected by this? I don't know. I just hate the Phoenix. The Phoenix Force ruins this moment right over here. That she literally died and came back as the Phoenix. You know, Chris Claremont. I would like to talk to him about how he feels about that. And knowing nothing I'll ever face will be half as terrifying. That screams. His optic blasts are out of control. His fierce final defense, it's backfiring. The nightmare field works fine against beings who's requiring any conscious thought, but Cyclops is just the opposite. His eye beams are on all the time, and his mind's trapped in nightmare. It's more deadly. Scott, don't. The beam, it should have cut me in two. Oh my God. My entire body's become ethereal, like some sort of living ghost. All right, I'll worry about that later. First, I got to stop Scott before he does any more damage. And, you know, so Scott is just freaking out. His eye beams are firing away. We got Colossus over here in the midst of a nightmare. No comment, so I'll just turn the page. We got Dr. Doom laughing at Crazy Magazine. Oh, wow. A letter from John Byrne. Taking over a book. Another artist is bad enough. Oftentimes, my style differs from the other, and readers are subject to a quantum lurch. But taking over a book from one artist has admired by But taking over a book from an artist one has admired for years, I might even go as far as to say an artist of whom I myself have been a fan, puts the newcomer through almost as a bad lurch as the readers, sometimes worse. Taking over the X-Men has put me through changes. Oh boy, has it put me through changes. Not enough that I have to follow Dave Cockrum's footsteps, but the role of the artist of this book reads like a who's who of comics. Kirby, Smith, Steranko, Adams, and now Byrne? Byrne? Who is this guy? What's he done besides a late lamented Kung Fu book? Okay, he co-created a very popular little robot a few years back, but no one is handing out laurels for past glories. Sigh. So bear with me, folks. Give this new kid a chance. Marvel, trust me. After all, they let me play with Spider-Man and the Avengers and Daredevil, now the X-Men. Bear with me. We may all come through this alive. London, Ontario. There you go. So John Byrne is being humble, being pretty cool. We got like a last shot of Dave Cockrum's X-Men. Oh man, I just got real hungry. We got Super, Crazy Dave shops. He's crazy. And that sound, oh no, the sphere. As Scott fell, his eye beams hit it head on, and now it's shattering. Whoever's locked inside is breaking free. What do I do now? I don't know. I don't know. The first thing I got, not to panic. I'm an X-Man. I've been in tough spots before, and I've always come through with flying colors. And now I sense the sphere, and I are bound together. As it loses its hold on reality, I lose mine. The answer, the reason must be inside. My mind, the image is the nightmare. It's gone. So she's summoning this fiery phoenix energy, and like it's acting as like her avatar, and she's probing it telepathy. I managed to cancel the nightmare field as I shifted into the sphere. Boy, what's happening to me? I'm beautiful, I'm Jean, and yet I'm Phoenix, and I feel as if for the first time in my life I'm truly alive. Her joy sustains her as she soars deep into the sphere, and without warning she's at its heart. Such power within this geodesic lattice work of anti-energy. I don't have the words, the concept to describe it. It's alive and it's dying. I love this kind of stuff. And when the lattice dies, the neutron galaxy will be free. Nothing will be spared. So there's a neutron galaxy inside. It'll destroy everything. It'll destroy Misty Knight. It'll destroy Xavier, her parents. Remember, they're still back 3 issues ago. They were at Misty Knight's and Jean Grey's apartment. Remember, Misty Knight was Jean Grey's roommate at the time, tying another. Misty Knight was a minor character at the time. You know, one of the daughters of the dragon with Colleen Wing. I'm surprised it's not like Misty Knight Colleen Wing movie. You know, 2 girl bosses out of, you know, one's Asian, one's black. I mean, geez, it's made for modern audiences. And if they do it properly, it'll be a girl boss movie, and the fans will be like, yeah, that's the way it is in the comics, you know. So it's come on, Marvel, let's go. Daughters of the Dragon movie, TV series, a gritty New York girl solving crimes. Oh man, come on, Marcus, me, you, Crenshaw, let's go. Let's take over Marvel. So he's just imagining the destruction of everything, you know. No, she's not going to allow it. This Phoenix avatar is using its telekinesis to, like a needle, fix all the cracks in this anti-energy lattice. Omnipro B. John Byrne wrote that letter in 1977. Isn't that when Star Wars the movies came out? Yeah, it did. What month is this? December. So so this is after Star Wars, because it's December is when you return the comic, and it's 3 months before. So yeah, so Star Wars already came out. And what do we got here? We got Slim Jims. This always freaked me out. This torso, and then it just looks like one leg, like one guy's just hopping around. Man, I just got like real hungry. But I could see the true pattern of the lattice in my mind, a network of interlacing status fields, neutralizing the power of the neutron galaxy. I only hope is to knit that lattice back together again before the deterioration passes the point of no return. I think I know how to do it, but I don't have the strength. The Phoenix is a being of energy, and a neutron galaxy absorbs it's absorbing me. It's pulling me so far away from the human plane of reality that it's if I no longer exist. But you do exist. So now we're gonna have some girl power. You need an anchor in this cosmic maelstrom, Jean. I will be that anchor. Yes, no storm. Oro, you don't know what you're saying. This anchor, you're offering your life force. It is my life to give, friend. Even if I took it all, Oro, it still wouldn't be enough. But you've given me an idea. 2 will give me what I need. Leave both donors alive. Corsair, help me. Why should I? Major Summers, please. There's no time. Take my hand. Major Summers. Boom. How do you know? I'll explain later. I read your mind. I read your mind. Not too much to explain. I read your mind. And then the moment, see if that this stunt of mine works. If it doesn't, look after Cyclops for me, Corso. He's the man I love, and he's also your firstborn son. My lord, Scott. Scott. So I love that. He didn't know. He didn't know. And here she is, you know, doing the Phoenix stuff. So it begins. She's inside the heart of this cosmic lattice, and she's using her super telekinesis to weave everything together, fix the cracks in the Macran crystal. The Macran crystal's got cracks. There's cracks in your crane, and she's tying it all together. It's just like a little too cosmic, a little too God in the machine, but just enough that it's satisfying, you know. It's also when I premiered. Oh, that you were born in 1977, so I'm 11 years old, like Charlie's Angels type girl bosses. Could be, you know, you know. We got the Torpedo or Turbo. He started out as the Torpedo, and then they changed him to Turbo. This always bothered me that they had this obvious vulture, but it's like a vulture hippogriff griffin kind of thing. But at least he's got cupcakes, because we all know that fruit pies are the worst possible thing ever invented by humanity. And I don't even think it was invented by humanity. I think it was invented by demons. And we got this. What a difficult issue to debut on. John Byrne like knocked it out of the park with all of this cosmic, stuff. It's not just people sitting around at the coffee table talking about, their feelings. This is space cosmic horror and decaying crystals and the giant robots and everything. So she lost all scope of reality inside this crystal. Is she larger than galaxies? Is she smaller than an atom, kind of thing? And we got the Shi'ar bug ship. She falters back, and this is just telling. You know what I mean? This is just Chris Claremont at his Purple Proteus, just explaining everything, feelings, what's going on. And really, it's just Jean Grey goes in there, uses telekinesis to fix the energy so that this, anti-energy is contained once again. That's it. But it's just feelings and exploring, and and boom, they pop through the Stargate. We got Fire Lord standing there. My friends, we're home, and not a moment too soon. I think even the smog smells good. Ming Gott. Greetings, X-Men. I've been expecting you. Fire Lord. No, Cyclops, I'm done with fighting. If Fire Lord wants my life, it's his for the taking. You need not fear me, Phoenix. In the short time you were gone, Xavier explained how I was deceived. I stayed to guard the Stargate until you return. And here comes Leandra, boobs first. And then without a word, the alien princess moves away from the gate, its metal frame burning white hot behind her. The struts collapsing until there's nothing left but a slag steel. Leandra, how did you know? I've never thought I'd see you. You're not so easily rid of me, Charles. What's happened within the Macran crystal drove my brother incurably insane, almost catatonic. He has no wife or children. By law, I should succeed him, but I led a rebellion against the Empire, and by that same law, I am condemned a traitor. Yet I did what was right. The High Council know this. So once they iron out the legalities, they will summon me home. Till then, dearest, I'm exiled here on Earth, and I am yours. Dum, dum, dum. What the future holds, no one may know, but for now there is silence and peace. This book dedicated with respect and admiration to Dave Cockrum, who helped make the dream come true. I'm not dead, Dave Cockrum. Next issue, there shall come a hero. So we have the finish on the first major epic of the X-Men, the whole Shi'ar. I just love this spacefaring epic. Not once did anybody complain about being a mutant, being hated, outcast. It was a little bit Nightcrawler's nightmare. But this was Star Wars. This was exiled empresses, mad guys can destroy the galaxy, cosmic forces. It's just so much fun. We got Wolverine damaged over here, hurt by a little, Wolverine's a tiny little guy, but a tinier guy took him out. It's just fun. Banshee's throat hurts. He can't use his powers for a little while. Colossus did absolutely nothing. You know, in the team book, it's I wrote one team story so far. It's for Bill Williams comic Punchline, which I absolutely love that comic. And he gave me an opportunity to write a 12-page story for upcoming Punchline Annual #1. And I was like, let's get this done. So Renzo just finished that 12-page story up, and now he's beginning the Patriarch, where Stippling knows my process. So Renzo is going to do the cards of all the characters, you know, the new character. He doesn't have to do a Patriarch card again, but he's going to, so that way I know that he knows what all the characters look like. And then he goes, I usually ask him to do about 5 or 6 pages and then the cover, you know, but Renzo, it's the Patriarch #1. So he says he'll be done early next year. So January, February. I'm so psyched. And he already did a variant cover, which I'm not showing yet. And then I'm going to ask him to do the proper cover. So this is going to be an anomaly for me in that the same artist is doing the A cover and the B cover. But anyway, where was I going with this? I forget what I was even going on with this. There was a point that I was trying to make, and now I lost it. I don't know. I lost my point. But here we got Misty Knight over here. All the secondary characters. I'm so annoyed because I lost my point. I lost my train of thought. But there we go. X-Men. Oh yeah, that it's the first major arc, and it's no crybaby X-Men. This is spacefaring X-Men. This is cosmic. Oh, my point. Duh. So I wrote that 12-point story, and it's a team. I'm showing one of the current lineups of the Metal League. The Metal League is like my Avengers. The Metal League is usually run by Colonel Strong. Magnum is one of the mainstays, and there's a couple other mainstays, but they're not in the issue. But I wanted to have all of my friends, player characters together in a published comic book that'll be in comic book stores for the first time. So I have to keep track of all of them fighting. So there's Mel, which is Bill Williams' character, and then my Metal League fighting up against the Cosmic Horror. And I had to balance. I had tried to give everybody something to do, but it was 12 pages. So this, we had the Starjammers. We had the X-Men all fighting against that whatever little midget guy, the Imp, and then the giant robot, and then this, and everybody had to give time. Like Corsair had a chance to be cool. Nightcrawler had a chance to be cool. Everybody had a chance to be cool. Even Raza, you know, from the Starjam. But Colossus did absolutely nothing this particular issue. You know, I think you could get away with that in a monthly comic, but like if you know, in crowdfunding, you just have a character standing around doing nothing. You know, it's gonna be like 2 years before they do anything cool. But that was the point that I was trying to make. And here we'll go to the last. And there we go. The Spalding ad on the back. And that's X-Men 108. I got to sneeze. I really like B characters like Torpedo. They go beyond the archetype with their unusual powers. Oh, God. I got to sneeze, and it won't come out. And Cockrum hated Burn. See, I didn't know that until you told me about that. That would be interesting. Cockrum hated Burn. Why? Was it a personality conflict? Was it like a talent thing? Why did they hate each other? Hey, Matthew, how's it going? And Matthew has a Kickstarter, Night Stalker. Type the name of your comic, you know, put Kickstarter and then the name, because you can't put in a link. And then maybe Marcus will find the link and throw it in there. So there we go. Oh, there we go. Marcus is on it. The Night Slayers, #1, a supernatural mystery. There you go. Marcus is the mod. He's the mod. He's the moderator with the Potterator. I don't know. Stupid Stupid thing to say. Also, at Fund My Comics, you can get Heroic Tales too. And there you go. That's everything I got to say. As usual, I will keep talking while the comments are up. I'm hungry, but that doesn't mean I need to run away. I'll just go make something. So, anything you want to say? Anything you want to discuss before we call it a day? Oh, okay. I just got a message from Renzo. I sent Renzo some reference, and he just responded. You know, he always does that head blown up. So there you go. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to discuss? Heroic Tales. Oh god. Heroic Tales 2. I should have the comics here mailed to me by the end of this week, and I'll start fulfillment. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a big batch. As soon as I put a big batch in the mail, then I'm gonna come back and then I'll release all the digital files. So if you back digitally, you'll get them real quick. If you back physically, you're at the whims and mercies of the post office. But I'm just hoping I get, the digital people. I don't want them getting it. I don't want them getting it that much earlier than the physical people. The physical people are, paying more money and shipping and stuff like that. So I don't. But I'm hoping by 2 weeks, everybody will start getting it. I have the Dave Cockrum bio by tomorrow. So I'll find out about it. Okay, cool. I'm really curious why they hate each other, or is it? Does Byrne hate Cockrum, or does Cockrum just hate Byrne? Because I know Byrne is kind of arrogant. But okay, looks like the comments are ending, so I guess I'll wind it down. Next week I'll probably continue this unless I come up. A lot of this is just spur of the moment. But I'm really enjoying going through this X-Men run. A lot of fun. I mean, I kind of hate the X-Men now. But man, did I love the X-Men here? This is just showing why I love the X-Men. But I don't know. The X-Men today just rubbed me the wrong way. It's just whiny and complaining. But this is awesome comic books. All right. So I guess I got nothing else to say. But goodbye, kids.
Goodbye, kids.